Statists share with Islamic terrorists two specific descriptions: the entitlement to control a land or people, and the belief in the legitimacy of their actions. While Islam promises many things in the afterlife, statism is limited to this life. The purpose of school is to ingrain a psychological bias in favor of the right for certain people to govern human life. People are taught since their days at school to obey authority. That's the actual point of the whole schooling system. You're good if you do what you are told. Good people are rewarded and celebrated. You're bad if you don't meet authority's expectations. Bad people are mocked and condemned and are publicly humiliated. Belief in authority is an indoctrinated faith. It is religious in every sense. It has a supernatural deity people pray to for the hope to be blessed by it, which is the government along with those who represent it. This God, although human, has rights mortals don't have. They have divine orders that are actually just threats. They label them laws, and mortals are expected to follow the laws indisputably, like a religious text, and if you disobey, then you're a sinner, and your punishment is undeniably earned because it is automatically your fault if something representing God hurt you. So anyone who wants to be good, which translates into being successful or comfortable or secure, has to bow to God and conform. But you aren't allowed to hold God accountable if they later renege on their promises or if they do a bad job at governance. And if you want to be a disbeliever and therefore a loser in this life, you can suffer God's wrath, go to hell, and be a loser mocked by the victorious believers. We're cornered into statism like Muslims corner people into Islam. Statists have rituals and ceremonies and religious habits such as elections, holidays, and standing for the national anthem. People feel uncomfortable at the mere thought of objection. Saying no to authority is against what they were taught. Opposition has been attached to guilt, so the mind spontaneously urges the host to avoid it through feelings of loss, discomfort, and insecurity. The trigger is the product of years of indoctrination. It is the same effect when people are accustomed to one type of clothing and feel conflicted when they perceive a person wearing unconventional clothes. It's all customs, taste, biases, and culture. All this is justified by the idea, the right to rule. It is the blind belief that the individual decides to be controlled by certain people despite voluntariness. The right to rule is a permission granted irrationally to certain individuals to control your freedom, my freedom, and in return create the illusion of the consensus where everybody seems to approve with the established order, even grateful or appreciative, while those who oppose are punished and used as examples to discourage others from doing the same. If this idea isn't beautified in the minds of children, and if guilt isn't attached to opposition, people would be more confident saying no to authority. Once you question your own belief, the whole idea starts to deteriorate. Exactly like Islam works. Doubting the religion in Islam is a sin because it promotes disbelief. Breaking the shackles of manipulation is treated as bad. No religious system appreciates objection. The whole point of this recording is to emphasize the importance of moral courage. If something seems problematic, it isn't bad to question it. It isn't bad to oppose it, and it isn't bad to present new ideas. It is only bad from the perspective of those who need me and you and everyone else to believe in the rights of someone to rule. This obviously matters if you need to create centralized power. I'm not promoting a lack of statism. Having a different or opposing opinion isn't the same as abolishing the state. I'm only emphasizing the religious nature of statism. So if religion says someone is bad or doing something is good, one can always be morally courageous to doubt such orders and endure the bias that triggers the feeling of guilt and awkwardness at the thought or perception of objection and difference. Without moral courage, people wouldn't resist authority and wouldn't be able to fight back against their ingrained fear of objection. But we all have the ability despite that we possess it at different levels. Without moral courage, people would do wrongs and call them rights, because they believe in the necessity of obedience, the virtue of obedience. They fear hell, which represents suffering, or they crave heaven, which represents comfort.